I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Law. Obolensky. Shess.
Here.
Sakach.
Here.
Noack.
Here.
Thank you.
Number 4 is closed session report, and we did not have a closed session, so there's nothing to report. Before we get down to the presentations, I just want to say Happy Lunar New Year to everybody. And if you haven't had an opportunity to celebrate the Year of the Snake, please, there's plenty of regional activities going on, especially at the library tomorrow at 6:30. So if you can join us, that'd be great. First, we'll go on to presentation 5.1. And this, I asked for us to be able to do at this agenda because of the turbulent times going on in this country right now. And so this was a resolution that we passed back in 2017. And so I thought it appropriate to read it again tonight. So I will do that. Resolution number 45-17, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pleasant Hill declaring the City of Pleasant Hill's commitment to being a welcoming, inclusive, tolerant, and safe community for everyone. Whereas the City of Pleasant Hill is committed to serving and protecting all members of our community and strives to have a safe and welcoming community that promotes public safety and the protection of human rights, social justice, equality, diversity, and social well-being. And whereas the City of Pleasant Hill feels strongly that all persons should support due process and adhere to the rule of law. And whereas the City of Pleasant Hill seeks to continue to foster a relationship of trust, respect, and open communication between the city and members of our community, which is essential to the city's mission of ensuring public safety and due process for all. And whereas the City of Pleasant Hill strives to deliver efficient public services, provide a prosperous economic environment and high quality of life for everyone in our community, and encourages cooperation between our community and the city, including law enforcement officers and all other employees. And whereas through the city's commitment to social justice and inclusion, one of the city's objectives is to enhance its relationship with all members of our community, including immigrants. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Pleasant Hill does hereby reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that all people residing in, working in, visiting, or passing through the City of Pleasant Hill feel safe and are treated with dignity and equality. Be it further resolved that due to the complexity of federal immigration laws, the laws of the state of California, the city's limited resources, the need to promote trust and cooperation with the public, including immigrants, and to attain the city's objectives, the City Council seeks to clarify through this resolution the city's alignment with state and federal law and the relationship between the city and the federal government regarding immigration enforcement with the following statements. It is not the policy of the city to request or maintain information regarding the citizenship or immigration status of any person or arrest any person solely for violations pertaining to immigration status unless such information is required by state or federal law or judicial decision. It is not the policy of the city to disclose information stemming from cases involving victims of domestic abuse or sexual assault unless required by law. It is not the policy of the city to use city resources for federal immigration enforcement unless required by federal or state law or judicial decision. Be it further resolved that nothing in this resolution shall be construed or implemented to conflict with maintaining public safety or any valid and enforceable duty or obligation imposed by court order or applicable law. Be it further resolved that the City of Pleasant Hill encourages and promotes public safety, human rights, social justice, equality, and social well-being for all. Be it further resolved that the City of Pleasant Hill believes in and is committed to continue our work to build a community that is welcoming, inclusive, just, law-abiding, and safe for all individuals regardless of their race, religion, sexual orientation, disability status, gender, gender identity, immigration status, or country of origin. This was adopted by the City Council of the City of Pleasant Hill at a regular meeting of the council held on the 5th day of June 2017 by, at that time, members Carlson, Flaherty, Noack, Wren, and Harris. And I would ask Chief Vermillion if you could just briefly outline for the public the Pleasant Hill Police Department's policies regarding this?
Yes, can you hear me okay? Our policy is actually policy 422. It's been around for a while. It aligns us with the California Values Act, which is we shall not do immigration enforcement. It's a shall. We both have a ethical obligation to do this because we are supposed to match the values of our community, and we have a legal obligation not to engage in immigration enforcement. There is circumstances where public safety would supersede us doing some type of immigration enforcement. An example of that would be a violent, undocumented immigrant, someone that's involved in human trafficking, someone that's involved in the sales of dangerous drugs such as fentanyl, or even the sales of or trafficking of weapons. If someone like that was an undocumented citizen, then yes, they're violating dangerous laws, serious laws, and that's where we would investigate and make enforcement and make arrest, prosecution as well.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
No problem.
Anybody on council have any questions on this? Amanda?
Yes.
Councilmember Sakach, sorry.
Thank you. So many of you know I'm a teacher at MDUSD, and I teach immigrants English. I just wanted to say I appreciate the fact that the prior council has this resolution as the law. I already had one of my students tell me she's unsure if it's safe to attend school, and I assured her it was. I appreciate that our city is committed to keeping law-abiding immigrants safe. And I just wanted to ask the chief if you could talk a little bit about the effects of raids on reporting crime if a victim is undocumented.
Yeah, anytime anybody comes into the Pleasant Hill Police Department, comes in contact with one of our officers and they're reporting a crime, we do not ask immigration status. I started at this police department in the year 2000, and when I go back to when I was trained as a new officer here, that wasn't part of the training program. It's never been a part of our training program. And also recently, the Cal Chiefs Association put out a statement on January 21st saying that we are going to follow the Californians Act, and it goes back
Recording in progress.
Goes back to that. It is the right thing to do. And again, our values should match that of our state and our local communities.
Great, thank you very much.
Anybody else have any comments? Councilmember Law?
Thank you for that. I appreciate the City of Pleasant Hill for rereading the resolution that we have already adopted. As a City Council member representing District 1, I am dedicated to advancing social justice and inclusion, and my focus is on creating safer community for all by promoting diversity, equity, inclusion, and in every decision that we make. So I did find a organization that I wanted to bring up, which is standtogethercontracosta.org. where on their page, it is a rapid response legal services and community education program to support safety and justice for immigrant families in Contra Costa County. And if there is any ICE activity, you may report that information by calling 1-925-900-5151. Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Did we have any public comments on this item?
There is one public comment.
Okay. Richard Offerman?
Good evening.
Oh, is that
My
on?
name is Dick
Okay.
Offerman, and I've lived in Pleasant Hill since 1984. Tonight, I'm here to thank the council for reading Resolution 4517, once again declaring the City of Pleasant Hill's commitment to being a welcoming, inclusive, tolerant, and safe community for all. There was a lot of work that went into getting that original resolution passed back in 2017. Many residents organized to combat the clear threat to our immigrant friends and neighbors. I want to thank the council members and police officers who took part. I appreciated the opportunity to meet, to discuss concerns, and look for a mutual solution. We worked together to ensure that the city and police policies protected the vulnerable in our community. There was a great deal of discussion, both good and bad, regarding sanctuary cities and the target that I felt that put on these cities. Our group urged the council to not buy into being a sanctuary, but to rather announce and then work towards being inclusive, tolerant, and a safe community for everyone. It has given us, who worked on this effort, a great deal of pride over the years whenever we heard our city staff refer to this commitment. I would like to read the list of some of those involved. I regret my list is probably not complete, but residents Dan Safran, Judy Walters, Karen Yap, Sharon Peterson, Linda and Skip Spragans, Mary Gray, Minister Kate Doherty and Father Paulson Mundani, Christ the King Church, Reverend Fred Weedman from Hillcrest Congregational, Reverend Rebecca Davis from St. Mark's Lutheran, Reverend Ernie Hess from St. Andrew's Presbyterian, Rabbi Roberto Gratz, Temple Isaiah in Lafayette, Reverend Will McGarvey with the Contra Costa Interfaith Council, and Reverend Bruce Smith with Resurrection Episcopal. Thank you again.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to item 5.2, proclamation designating the month of February as Black History Month. And I did invite Lloyd Sheen, come on up to receive the proclamation. Hi, Lloyd. All right. I've got 2 bottles of water here to get through all these proclamations tonight. Whereas each February we commemorate Black History Month as an annual celebration of African, Caribbean, and Black American achievements and time for recognizing their central role in United States history. And whereas Black History Month, also known as African American History Month, grew out of Negro History Week, established by noted historian Carter G. Woodson in 1926. And whereas the Association for the Study of African American Life and History will celebrate Black History Month 2025 with the theme of African Americans and labor, focusing on the profound ways that work, both free and unfree, intersects with the experience of Black people. And whereas after fighting for their freedom as enslaved Africans during the Civil War and in the country's transition from an agricultural-based economy to an industrial one, African Americans became sharecroppers, farm laborers, landowners, and then wage earners through apprenticeships and vocational training, as well as entrepreneurship, invention, and organized labor, the latter of which had helped to combat both economic and social injustice. And whereas Black professionals such as Addie Wyatt and civil rights activists like A. Philip Randolph and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. organized over the years to combat wage discrepancies, employment discrimination, and the exploitation of Black labor through local and national organizing by encouraging Black employees to join ranks of union work and leadership to advocate for job security and coordinating the March on Washington Monument. And whereas we honor the accomplishments in the workforce of Black, Caribbean, and African Americans this month, we reflect on the injustices of the past that shape our present. Now, therefore, I, Sue Noack, Mayor of the City of Pleasant Hill, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim February 2025 as Black History Month in the City of Pleasant Hill and encourage everyone in Pleasant Hill and surrounding areas to join in the spirit of celebration and reaffirm our community's commitment to family, diversity, mutual respect, and creating an inclusive environment of belonging for all our residents. Lloyd?
Why, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Noack and fellow council members. Of course, my name is Lloyd Sheen. I'm a member of the Diversity Commission. Thank you so much for presenting the Black History Month proclamation from the City of Pleasant Hill to the Diversity Commission. I'm deeply honored to accept this proclamation recognizing Black History Month. This year's theme, as you mentioned, focuses on African Americans and labor. Black voters have been the backbone of the nation's economy, from the fields to the factories, from the railroads to classrooms, from unions to boardrooms. Despite obstacles, they have shaped industries, built communities, and paved the way to generations to come. Their resilience, innovation, and determination have strengthened not just Black America, but all of America. As we celebrate this month, let us remember the contributions of those who have fought for fair wages, safe working conditions, and economic justice. Let us also recommit ourselves to ensuring that opportunity, dignity, and respect remain in the heart of labor for all people. Thank you for this recognition, and maybe we continue to uplift the legacy of Black labor, not just in February, but every day. Thank you again for striving to make Pleasant Hill a place where all people feel a sense of belonging. And if you wouldn't mind, if I could just mention a few points on the Diversity Commission and some things that we're working on.
Sure.
Some of the things that we've been working on the last few years, we established the Everyone Belongs Pledge, which reaffirms the City of Pleasant Hill's commitment to diversity and inclusion. The Commission is proud to draft monthly proclamations and accept those proclamations on a regular basis. We participate in key events and sharing and supporting, from the Art and Wine Festival, Community Service Day, Light Up the Night. We're proud to contribute to the Outlook newsletter each month, or each time it comes out. The Commission has established the city's annual Juneteenth event, and we'll be working on our third event this summer. Also be working on our second Unity Walk to celebrate and support United Against Hate, and that'll happen later on this year. And we also continuing the work of the original Community Conversations program that the Civic Actions Commission's Diversity Subcommission founded back in June of 2020. And just briefly, a little bit of history around that. It was the City Council presented the Civic Action Commission with the charge to specifically work more on diversity programs focused on equity and inclusion to make Pleasant Hill more welcoming. We took that lead, created a subcommittee, and participated in a number of community conversations. The first one was in regards to where do we go from here as a community after the death of George Floyd, sparked national conversation. And we wanted to know what we could do as a community of Pleasant Hill to ensure a just and fair environment for all. Then the conversations continued. We had focus on local Asian American and Pacific Islander community, local Jewish community, local LGBTQ plus community, mental health professional conversations, the faith community, and conversations focused on Pleasant Hill and the youth. And just last thing, Diversity Commission was then established as a full independent commission by the Pleasant Hill City Council in April of 2021 to make sure that Pleasant Hill community members would feel a sense of engagement and belonging. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. I am unable to walk down
No
there.
problem at all.
So I am going to have Vice Mayor Shess do that. I had foot surgery last week, so I'm staying put.
Thank you.
Any comments from council members? Councilmember Law?
I'd like to start by thanking the Diversity Commission and the mayor for presenting the proclamation recognizing February as Black History Month. Black history is vital because it deepens our understanding of American history, shedding light on the struggles, resilience, and bravery of those who fought against systemic racism and segregation. That being said, I also want to highlight that under Resolution 45-17 that Mayor Nowak had mentioned earlier, the City Council of Pleasant Hill is committed to making our city a welcoming, inclusive, tolerant, and safe community for all. This commitment reflects our ongoing dedication to these values, not just in February, but every day of the year. And on that note, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that it is Lunar New Year, and I appreciate Mayor Nowak for bringing that up. And I want to wish everyone a happy New Year, happy Lunar New Year, that is. And as an Asian American, I recall such fond memories of celebrating this holiday as a child, visiting family, friends, and exchanging wishes for good fortune and health in the year ahead. Lunar New Year is celebrated by many East Asian countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, and others, sometimes under different names. And according to the 2020 census, California is a home to the largest Asian American population in the United States with over 6 million people. In Pleasant Hill, 18% of our population identifies as Asian. And given the significance of this holiday, I believe it's time our city follows the state's lead and renew the proclamation that was signed in 2023 by then Mayor Tim Flattery on an annual basis, and making it also possibly an official holiday, just as California has done under Government Code 6700A4. Thank you.
Okay, item 5.3 is a presentation on the 25th anniversary summer concert series. I can't believe it's 25 years, but I think I've been going all 25 years, from the Civic Action Commission. And Hunter Robertson, Anthony Garcia are coming to the podium to make a presentation.
Evening, everybody. Mayor Nowak, council members, thank you for having us this evening, especially new council members. Welcome to you guys as well. This is the favorite part of my job, getting to tell you guys about our concert lineup for the show every year. So I'll get started. This is the 25th anniversary of our Sunset by the Lake Summer Concert Series. And just to show you a little bit how much we've grown over the years, this is a photo from our original concert in the year 2000. A little bit sad, no stage, just some musicians over there on the sidewalk. And then this is from 2024 last year. You can see that we are growing, we are changing. Also from 2024, you can see an overhead view here. And the two biggest changes that we've made in the concert have actually come in the last year. One of them being we've added food trucks up there in the top of the frame to our alcohol truck as well. So we've got booze and food for the guests to enjoy while they're at the concert. And we have also started adding a family fun zone, which is using that grassy area up above. We didn't have a picture from above of the fun zone from last year, but Anthony's going to tell us a little bit more about that in a second. All right, so on to the concert lineup. We have 8 shows this year. Starting on May 25th, our first show will be the Billy Martini Show Band. These guys are a 70s groovy retro revival. They do like vintage rock, R&B, funk. They play a little bit of their own stuff as well as cover music. And they were voted best live music for events and celebrations in the East Bay by Diablo Magazine. So we're excited to have them with us this year. Next, on June 8th, we're bringing back the Great Space Coaster. These guys opened up our season last year, and they were a big hit, so we decided to bring them back. They do 70s, 80s, 90s cover music, and just like their tagline says, they are a really great cover band. On June 22nd, we're bringing in Tequila. They're originally from the Bay Area. They formed in the 70s and were a fairly popular and successful recording artist during that time. They regrouped in 2013, and they're going to come play with us this year. All their stuff is original. Like I said, they were recording artists in the 70s, and they're still recording today with some original members. So really exciting to have them join us this year. For our July 6th show, what better than the Bell Brothers? They are now Bay Area locals, originally from Texas. These guys have opened up for Dwight Yoakam, Jason Aldean, Rascal Flatts, Montgomery Gentry, Roy Clark, Charlie Daniels. So these guys are the real deal. Their music is spectacular. Excited to have them for our July 4th weekend show. That'll be perfect. Bringing back the Uninvited again this year for our July 20th show. A completely original band. These guys actually had 7 full-length albums with Atlantic Records. In the 90s, they had a major hit, Too High for the Supermarket, I believe was the title of their big hit in the 90s. They won MTV's Beach House Band Contest, and they have a best-selling biography right now on Amazon. So these guys are a legitimate original band. They were with us last season. Everybody loved them, so we're having them back, and we're excited to see more of this type of music, bringing in some more original bands. Next up on August 3rd, we have Johnny and June Forever, and that's a Johnny Cash and June Carter tribute band. These guys you just have to sort of see to believe. They look like them, they sound like them. It's going to be a really good show. Another
They're not
returning...
going to play a Boy Named Sue, though, are they?
I don't know. I bet they will. It'll probably be on the playlist. I mean, if you need me to make a recommendation.
It's been the bane of my existence for a couple of years there, so...
Coming back again from last year is Dirty Cello. These guys are fantastic. She was called the Jimi Hendrix of cello, and if you saw her play last year, you understand why. They do a little bit of rock blues, bluegrass. They do some Led Zeppelin. It's really fun to watch her play the cello. Really strong band. happy to have them back. And then closing out our season on August 31st is the perennial returning favorite. These guys have been here every year that I have lived in Pleasant Hill, the Big Jangle, the Tom Petty Tribute Band. Everybody loves them. They're fantastic, and they'll close out our season this year. So here's the schedule as it looks for the entire year. This will all be available on our website online as well as the city's website. So if anyone needs to reference the schedule, let us know. And then we talked a little bit about those family fun zones at the beginning. So this year, you get a family fun zone and another family fun zone and 3, 4, 5 family fun zones this year. So what's a family fun zone, you might ask? Well, luckily I have Anthony here to tell you all about that. So I'll leave this on the screen for you guys for a second. Hopefully you guys can all come out and enjoy the concerts with us. They really are a lot of fun. It's every other Sunday, May 25th through August 31st. And with that, I will let Anthony tell you a little bit more about our Family Fun Zone experience.
Thank you very much, Hunter. Mayor Nowak, council members, thank you for having me here. As Hunter mentioned, the Family Fun Zone is a new innovation of the last couple of years to enhance the concert experience. But first and foremost, every summer concert is family friendly and fun. What makes this difference in terms of the Family Fun Zone is this is a dedicated area of activities for kids and families, and it's located, as you saw on the slide on the map, it's between the gazebo and Trelane Road, that grassy area. And we got a lot of feedback in terms of how can we bring more to serve a lot of the families that are starting to attend these concerts. And we've started with a bounce house, face painting, balloon artists, bubble stations to really add to that fun. And the more part is that we're starting to explore with more partnerships with other groups that are bringing other activities to make it even more enjoyable for all that are attending. And our group has been super passionate about putting on these activities, learning from them, and making them better every season. So the first year was 2023. We did one pilot concert, one pilot Family Fun Zone at a concert, and the positive feedback was overwhelming. And we had higher demand than expected. A lot more people showed up, which was great. It did lead to some lines. We understood, okay, well, we need to be more prepared from this. This is something that people want, and we need more volunteers. But we felt like we had the right mix of activities that fit with the concert environment, and everyone had a great time. So last year, 2024, we expanded to 3 concerts. We had one for June, July, and August. We continued to get more feedback, which was great. We doubled up some vendors, so reduced no more lines. Everyone was able to enjoy the activities we presented out. And we explored with some earlier start times to perhaps cater to early bedtimes and dinner times for little ones. And we started to incorporate volunteers. We recruited some high schoolers to help us monitoring the activities and just helping us with setup, which was really helpful. And then again, last summer, there were a couple of concerts where we had some adverse weather in terms of heat. And what we learned is, well, how can we put this on to be safer? And we came up with a plan in the event of adverse weather. We didn't put it into place, but we're prepared now in the future in case to be able to do that. But it was a good learning that we're taking into this coming season. And as Hunter mentioned, we're going to have 5 concerts. So we're going to have Family Fun Zones for every concert from May to July. And we're going to keep it to the same start time, 6 to 8. So when the music starts, the fun starts. We got some feedback that it was a little confusing for when do families come, when do they come for the music, but we'll keep it simple. May through July, Family Fun Zone, and then 6 to 8 is when it'll happen. And we're exploring with more partnerships and more activities that'll come. And we're finalizing the detailed plan with the rest of the commission this February at our Civic Action Commission meeting. And what I would ask for those in the community, we're looking for volunteers, continuing to look for high schoolers or parents want their children to help to work with us. It's a great opportunity to get a little bit of leadership and organize with us as we conduct these events. And sponsorships and partnerships are still available. Last year, what we also were able to achieve, we secured one sponsorship I-9 Sports. They were able to sponsor some of our activities for a Family Fun Zone, which was great, and we want to explore more sponsorships to be able to bring this continually to the community. And I'm very proud to present this on behalf of the hard work of our commission. We have Commissioners Faye Dunaway here, Donahue. Donahue here.
I would have
and then
corrected him. I would have corrected him.
and our chair, Barbara Thor, here in person. But the rest of our commission has been very helpful with their input and help to coordinate and put on these events. So thank you very much. I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate it. I wish we'd had the Family Fun Zone like 20 years ago because we brought our son and he loved rolling down the hill all the time. And so we always had to give him a bath afterward because he was covered like with all the grass and stuff.
Right.
And we didn't do it once and then he ended up with a rash the whole next day. So every time we went, we had to do that. So that Family Fun Zone is 20 years late for us, but I'm sure that the families appreciate it because I think that's a great addition and loving having the food trucks there. You guys are doing a fantastic job on the whole event. It was so well attended last year. It just couldn't, the crowds were just amazing. So really appreciate that. Anybody else have any comments? Amanda?
I also love the Family Fun Zone. My kids, who are the same age as Sue's, used to try to hang from those trees over there. So
I think I yelled at a couple of them.
Yes, yes. So I had a thought for the Family Fun Zone. Have you thought about having like houses of worship or nonprofits come out and do sponsor activities, maybe arts and crafts type stuff? I did see, I went to Montclair's Art and Wine Festival and they had something similar.
That's one of our successful partnerships that we've had the last couple seasons with the Creative Place Center. So they're a nonprofit parent-teacher cooperation organization, and they were able to set up and also provide activities for our little list of music lovers. So a lot of preschool activities that they were able to, but also share about their programs that they have. So they're one example of a partnership that they have been beneficial. But we're also looking at other groups that would kind of bring some different type of, activities or information as well.
Anybody else? Yep. Member Obolensky?
Thank you, Sue. So I saw that second slide, and I saw my red tent there, so you can know that I go there almost every single concert series. I'm there.
Yes.
And I really love the fact of having the Family Fun Zone. We have a 2-year-old, and even at 1.5, he was out there having fun. And we actually bring a draw. We bring a lot of friends over. And one of the things I want to give you guys props on is I have friends who live in Concord and in Walnut Creek within the Slavic community, and they all come out and they said, look, you guys got the best parties here in Pleasant Hill. And I said, well, tell everyone, no, we don't want too many people to come. So
Too late.
Too late. So you guys are doing a great job, and just look for me in my red tent because I will be there at all the concert series. But just a couple questions. I see you guys have business sponsors. Where do you guys put that information out so that you can attract businesses to sponsor the civic, or not just the Family Fun Zone, but the whole?
Right. Yeah, we have a specific
series.
committee for sponsorships, and those communications are going out to those who have previously applied for sponsorship, and also businesses in the area. Our city liaison, Jeff, has been really great in helping facilitate that, but a lot of that is ongoing, especially with the 25th anniversary. We were really trying to amp it up to get early sponsorships and more folks to contribute and help.
So letting the chamber know, like I was on the chamber board previously, and I never knew how this all worked.
Correct.
So maybe, Jeremy would be a good resource to get, because obviously the more sponsorship, the more buzz you're going to get. The only other question I had, and this also is for Lloyd since he's still here, are we going to have any Latin or Hispanic-based music, something along those lines? Because I haven't seen that too much.
We had Tequila this year, and we had, and I blanked on the name.
Oh, you got to come to the mic, sorry.
Sorry, we have Tequila this year, which
Okay.
is a Hispanic and Latin-based band.
Perfect.
And I've blanked on the name of the band that we had that closed out our season last year. Zebop was also a Latin band as well.
Well, thanks for
So
letting me
we're
know.
looking to bring as much diversity as we can each year, something a little bit different.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, Councilmember Law?
Just a quick comment. I'm also very excited about the family fun zone because I have little ones too, but I'm surprised too you wouldn't roll down the hill still. I would still do that at this age.
No.
With that being said, you did make a comment earlier about trying to get more youth involved and volunteers and
Yeah.
things like that. Have you thought about reaching out to Rec and Park? I know they have a teen center as well, and they also have an event planner that perhaps you can coordinate with and be able to get their teens to come and put some activities together.
That's a great idea. Last year, we reached out directly to schools and through informal networks there, and we're able to recruit some high schoolers to help out. But yeah, especially now that we're increasing and we'll need more volunteers, it's a great route that we'll take and use.
Yeah, there are 3 big service organizations at the high school as well. You might want to, Amanda's kids and my son all participate in Interact, which is Junior Rotary.
Okay.
And then there's Key Club, and then there's the California Federation of Student Scholars, or I forgot the exact title of it. But anyway, there are 3 fairly large organizations that are always looking for volunteer opportunities. It's a little harder during the summer because
Yeah.
they're a little, who knows where they are. But usually there's a group of them that you can get to participate. So you might want to touch base with them before they get out of school
Yes.
and see if some of them are interested in participating as well. That's a good source of volunteers. I know Amanda's 2 kids and my son have done a lot of those, so that'd be great.
idea.
Anything else?
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you both, and thank you, Faye and Barbara as well. And you guys do a great job with this. It's always so much fun, so appreciate it. Okay, move on to item 6, which is the city manager comment. Mr. Bindernagel.
Good evening, Mayor Nowak and council members and members of the public. A couple of announcements for you this evening. The rain has returned, thankfully, and so has city staff's friendly reminder that there are 3 sandbag stations available for public access and use. The Fill Your Own stations are located, one here at City Hall in the parking lot behind Michael's to our right or in front of the council, at the Community Center parking lot, and lastly in the parking lot on the north side of Hawthorne Drive across from Pleasant Oaks Park. For those who are unable to fill their own sandbags, a limited number of pre-filled bags are available at the Public Services Center at 310 Civic Drive. You can call 925-671-4646 to learn more. And another note, participating on city commissions, we do have some vacancies. It can be a very rewarding experience, and many who are appointed often asked to be reappointed when their term expires. You can apply by Friday, February 7th, to be considered, that's this Friday, for current vacancies on the Civic Action Commission, the Commission on Aging, the County Connection Advisory Committee, and the Measure K Oversight Committee, which is that particular is reserved for a member of the chamber, that position. More information, including applications, can be found online at the city's website, phillca.gov/vacancy. And lastly, I think fun, free, and healthy may characterize my next and final announcement. 511 Contra Costa's Winter Walk Challenge is sure to get you outside and on the move, perhaps dodging raindrops. So sign up and you can receive a new challenge each Monday, January through March. You can compete in fun and easy challenges while walking to earn entries in weekly drawings for $20 Amazon gift cards. There are 10 winners every week. You can be entered in the iPad grand prize drawing just by signing up, and you can do that and start off on the right foot, so to speak, not the left, Mayor Nowak.
Yeah.
And register today at 511cc.org/walk. Thank you.
I guess rolling on my scooter probably isn't going to count, right? Thank you. Any questions for the city manager? No? Okay. We will move next on to council announcements and reports. Reports from council members on meetings or conferences attended at city expense. And I believe Councilmember Obolensky and Sakach attended.
Yeah, we attended the council member and mayor's training conference. We were supposed to go to the one in Sacramento, but they were full, so we ended up going down to the one in Orange County, which I found to be a great opportunity to meet lots of council members and mayors from all across Southern California. We did have some of our counterparts from Martinez and Redwood City and Foster City, and we got to foster some great relationships while we were down there.
Really bad.
Some of my favorite classes were finance. No, actually, it was working with your city manager and the planning. Wasn't that the funnest? That was the funnest class, I thought, was the planning class. And we're looking forward to more training and learning as we move along. So with that, I'll turn it over to you if you have any other comments.
No, I just found it really worthwhile. We talked to other cities about, what their important issues were, and we learned about legislative initiatives that the League of Cities is undertaking, and we discussed fun things like budgeting.
Always fun. Okay. Any other meetings at city expense? No? Okay. We'll go on to announcements from council members. Start on my left. Councilmember Law, do you have any announcements?
Yes, I do. Just a quick announcement. On Saturday, February 8th, from 10 to 3 p.m., Diablo Valley College is hosting its first Lunar New Year celebration, and it's on Pleasant Hills campus located at 321 Golf Club Road. And the city will also be there having a booth with Visit Pleasant Hill as well as Rec and Park. And I want to thank the Dean of Business, Computer Science, Culinary, and Community Education, Charlie Shee, for inviting us. And this is actually being thrown by the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Student Achievement Program. And so the AANHPI SAP is a transformative initiative designed to empower AANHPI students to unlock their potential and advocate for the success of underserved students. DVC established a campus task force to develop the AANHPI SAP in their the fall semester of 2023. And some of their projects include design and implement culturally responsive learning communities, provide advising and counseling services, including mental health counseling and awareness services. They also develop mentorship and leadership programs and host cultural events that celebrate AANHPI heritage and pride. And the main goals of the Lunar New Year Festival is to celebrate the cultural heritage and background of AANHPI students, as well as our community, and also to share the traditions of the Lunar New Year celebrations. There will be cultural performance, such as lion dances, martial arts, traditional complementary culinary food, so make sure you RSVP. There's also going to be booths and activities as well. And so the public can visit their Instagram page at dvc.aanhpi to register for the event so that the culinary department knows how many people will be there, so they know how much food to make. So I hope to see you guys there.
Okay. Councilmember Obolensky?
Wow, that sounds like a fun event. Can we get a calendar invite for that? I'd love to go. You said it's the 8th, right?
Yes,
Perfect.
I will send that to you.
Perfect. That way I can remember, because I do everything by the calendar. As far as events, I don't have any events. I know that we have a St. Patrick's event coming up soon with Rotary, right? That's going to be on the 15th. Outside of that, that's all I know.
Looking at Faye.
Yeah. March 15th, yeah, March 15th. So you can get your tickets at from your Pleasant Hill Rotarian.
Okay. Vice Mayor Schuss?
Yeah, let's see, I attended, along with most of my colleagues here, the Lions Club Crab Feed, and then also attended last week with Councilmember Law, the East Bay Leadership Council event that they had featuring the speaker, the legendary journalist Judy Woodruff, which was great. And then on Saturday night, represented the council at the Chamber fundraiser event that they had, whiskey tasting, and just made sure everything was under control.
Good. Glad to hear that. Sorry, I missed that one.
Sorry, Mayor Nowak.
Councilmember Sakach?
My apologies, Vice Mayor Nowak. Your mic was off. Do you want to repeat?
Mine? Lions Club Crab Feed, East Bay Leadership Council
Judy Woodruff.
with Judy Woodruff,
Chamber of Commerce fundraiser,
Whiskey tasting.
whiskey tasting. Sorry.
You got to get that in there. Councilmember Sakach?
Yeah, thank you for checking in on that whiskey tasting on our behalf. I also attended the crab feed with, I think Sue was busy having surgery, but the rest of us were there. And let's see, I also attended a Martin Luther King commemoration in Concord with the Multi-Faith Coalition.
Okay,
Oh, Sue, I missed to add something. Can I add
Yep.
one more thing?
good.
Is it too late? Okay, sorry.
No,
I missed this whole part because of the whole technical thing. So I recently had the opportunity to attend my first East Bay Leadership Council series with Vice Mayor Zach Sesh, where I connected with other local leaders and learned about the amazing work they were doing. I also had the privilege of meeting the keynote speaker, as Zach mentioned, Judy Woodruff from PBS NewsHour. And during her speech, some of the key takeaways for me were her reflections on the uncertain times that we're all navigating under this new administration. And what I thought was a good key takeaway was that she stressed that the real work starts at the local level, and that as leaders, we have the power to work together to keep our communities safe and inclusive. And the City of Pleasant Hill also recently hosted 2 climate action plan workshops, and I had the opportunity to attend both with Amanda Shakatz. We had a great turnout with about 50 people attending in person and some online. Some of the ideas that stood out to me included creating safer and more connected bike and pedestrian pathways to encourage walking and biking instead of driving, as well as providing education for both youth and adults to instill good habits around reducing, reusing, and recycling. So engaging youth in these discussions was also highlighted as an important way to inspire fresh ideas. And so for those who missed the workshops, I'd like to encourage you to submit your ideas and complete the survey at our website, www.phillca.gov. Select services, because it's kind of hard to find. Click on the planning division and select Pleasant Hill Climate Action Plan. And from there, you should see a QR code for the survey and a link to sign up for updates. And I want to thank our staff and consultants for their hard work in organizing and rolling out these first 2 workshops. They have been invaluable in helping us develop strategies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and strengthen our community's resiliency in the face of real climate change.
as people have noted, I had surgery 10 days ago, so I haven't done a lot over the since last meeting. I did attend the County Board of Supervisors reorganization where Candace Anderson was made the new chair, and attending one of our MTC meetings, I have been nominated to be the new chair of MTC. So that will be, yes, that's going to keep me a bit busy in the upcoming year. So get ready to help out here. And with that, that ends our council member announcement and report, and we'll move on to public comment. Public is welcome at this time to address the city council on items on the consent calendar or other items not listed on the agenda, but within the council's jurisdiction. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per speaker. You may provide comments by giving a speaker card to Lyon at the dais. Madam Clerk, do you have any speaker cards?
There are no public comment cards.
Okay. Great. We'll now move on to the consent calendar. And there is one amendment I want to make before we had a slight error. We had to amend the committee appointments. Some were corrected in the ones that were distributed on Thursday, but we had one error. And so the School District Task Force is going to be Councilmember Law and myself. That's the only change to the packet that we had online. So with that, does anybody want to pull any item? No? Then I will look for a motion.
I will move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have the roll call vote, please?
Law,
Aye.
Obolensky,
Yes.
Chess,
Yes.
Sakach?
Yes.
Noack?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. We will now move on to item 10, which is the action calendar. 10.1, adopt a resolution directing the preparation and filing of the 2025-2026 annual report for Assessment District Number 20, Commercial Area Landscape and Lighting, and adopt resolution requesting consent from the City of Concord for ordering of improvements and assessments of costs for benefited property in Assessment District, Ann's already there, number 20. Ann James, our Director of Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor Noack and council members. I would like to also introduce Melanie Gilroy-Lee from SCI Consulting Group. Tonight I have one presentation for item 10.1 and 10.2. There's actually 3 different actions that will be in front of you for those 2 items. So the first is adopt resolution directing the preparation and filing of the 25-26 annual report for the Assessment District 20. And the second action under that item is also requesting consent from the City of Concord to order the levy for the 17 properties that are actually in Concord but get assessed under Assessment District 20. I was told there's a new button. New button. So we have 2 assessment districts in Pleasant Hill, Assessment District Number 20, Commercial and Landscape and Lighting, medians and sidewalks. We have 7 zones, Zone 1 to 6, and Zone 5 is 5A and 5B. And we also have a separate assessment district Number 22, which is made up of Grayson Woods and Gallery Walk. For Assessment District Number 20, this is the overall map. You can see we have the 6 different zones, and I'm going to call it pinkish. Back in 2019, we separated Zone 5 into 5A and 5B just for clarity. 5B is around the 401 Taylor and the medians on Taylor, and 5A is down on Pleasant Hill Road. Assessment District 22 is made up of Grayson Woods, and it's the green area. The yellow area is the properties that are assessed. The green is what we maintain. So it's a little bit of frontage along Grayson Road between Gulf Links and Iron Hills. And then the landscape strip, the AC pathway and the ADA ramps at the corner that run along Release Valley Road. And then Gallery Walk, also the green strip. The East Bay Mud Trail we maintain. The unique thing about Gallery Walk is we do not assess and pay for water along Gallery Walk.
Uh-oh. Always happens when you walk up to the podium.
So tonight's action for Assessment Districts 8020 and 8022, in order for us to collect and levy the assessment, what happens tonight is the council will direct the preparation of the annual report. And second, we ask the City of Concord for authority to levy the properties in Assessment District 20. That's the only action. Well, there's 2 actions, but that's what's happening tonight. SCI Consulting Group is who we're proposing to do the annual report for us, the engineer of record. They're going to do the annual report, and then they come back and we have a public hearing in June so that we can actually do the assessment, which has to go get to the county by August 10th in order for it to go on the tax rolls. So we did actually go out for a new RFP this year in December 2024. The last time we had a new engineer of record was in 2019, so they started in 2020. They carried us through COVID. We went out with the RFP. We received 4 proposals from 4 different qualified firms. We interviewed all 4 teams. We also had Joanna Jen from BBK with us when we did our interviews. And SCI Consulting Group, I'm happy to report, was the most qualified candidate in our opinion, based on their qualifications. One thing we really liked is they're a local firm. They're in Fairfield. They can always be here front and center if we want them, right, Melanie? And they also have the ability to meet the timeline. Bringing on a new consultant in February for a report that has to be done in May, that was one of our biggest requirements, is that they had the ability to meet our timeline, meet all the deadlines. And so I just really wanted to touch on this real quick. It's been a while since we've talked about this. It's hard to tell from the map, but that's basically the mall in Sun Valley, right? There's 17 properties. Those are the properties we assess within Concord. 8 are east of Contra Costa Boulevard and south of Sun Valley. 6 are within the Sun Valley Mall property itself. And then 3 are east of CCB and south of Concord. So when you hopefully approve this resolution tonight, we meet with our counterparts in Concord with the resolution. First, you ordering the annual report, but also asking their permission. They bring it in front of their council. And so they have their own deadline that they have to meet. So they bring this item to their council. They get back to us with their resolution so that we can actually, by August, take the assessments for them as well. Since the assessment district has been in place, they have never said no, right? They've been good partners with us, and I don't expect this year to go any different. So that is exactly the same action for AD 22. In case you want me to go through it again, I'm happy to. But I did want to see if you had any questions for SCI.
Yep, any questions?
So this, the one property, or the 80-20, the 20, and is that from the original land swap with Concord that happened during the Sun Valley Mall, or why is it, I'm just kind of curious, just for my morbid curiosity.
The properties that are along Contra Costa Boulevard that are actually in Concord do receive a benefit from the work we do.
Correct.
So if you picture that the city maintains the street and the landscaping, all those abutting properties receive a benefit, even though they're in Concord. So that's why we ask them to pay into the assessment district. We're basically maintaining the landscaping along the medians, the streetlights, and all of that. It provides a benefit for those businesses. I don't know, I'm sorry, Councilmember, if it was part of the original land swap. It's just the way the property lines go now, that there are 17 properties that receive a benefit from the assessment district work we do.
Makes sense. That was just my only question. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Janet, do we need just one for 10.1 and one for 10.2, or how many do we need?
I think you had 3 separate resolutions. Sorry.
So we have the preparation and filing. We have the intent to ask consent for Concord, and then the same for the preparation and filing for AB 22.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do 3. So let's start with the first one, which is directing the preparation and filing of the 2025-2026 annual report for assessment district number 20. I need a motion.
So moved. I will second.
All right, great. We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Law,
Yes.
Obolensky,
Yes.
Chess.
Yes.
Sockotch.
Yes.
Noack.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Second one is requesting consent from the City of Concord for ordering of improvements and assessments of costs for benefited property in Assessment District number 20. You have your finger on your button there?
So moved.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. May we have the roll call vote?
Law,
Yes.
Obolensky,
Yes.
Chess,
Yes.
Sockotch,
Yes.
Noack.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. I didn't do public comment there. Whoops.
We have
Is there
no
any public comment? There's no public comment. Okay. Just double checking. Okay. Wanted to make sure. I realized I missed that. Okay, so the next one is for the preparation and filing, a resolution for the preparation and filing of the 2025-2026 annual report for assessment district number 22. We don't have any public comments for that, right?
There are no public comment cards.
Great, thanks. Can I get a motion for that? So this is the same thing as the first one, except for assessment district 22 instead of assessment district 20. So we're just authorizing, directing SEI to prepare and file the annual report for assessment district 22 instead of 20. Yes. I still need a.
I will move it.
Thank you.
And I will second. Oh,
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. It's okay. Multiple seconds are fine. Can we have the roll call vote, please?
Law,
Yes.
Obolensky,
Yes.
Chess,
Yes.
Sockotch,
Yes.
Noack.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, we will now move on to 10.3, which is approve the appropriations of street resurfacing funds to fund the resurfacing of Contra Costa Boulevard, Harriet Drive to Viking Drive, Taylor Boulevard, Contra Costa Boulevard to Terry Way, and Sun Valley Boulevard, Contra Costa Boulevard to Santa Monica Drive, as part of the Contra Costa Boulevard Improvement Project number 223, and authorize the Public Works Director to execute a construction change order with Redgwick Construction Company. Ryan McLean,
Yes.
Transportation Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. Ryan McLean, Transportation Manager. Just going to walk through what we're looking to do here. So again, this is for the Contra Costa Boulevard Improvement Project that's currently under construction, and basically taking the resurfacing funds that we have available to us and adding it to this project so we can do the resurfacing at the same time that we're doing the rest of the work in this corridor. So just some of the background, I thought it'd be worthwhile to go through the timeline just to kind of understand how long this sort of project takes and how we are where we are at this point. The grant that we received from CCTA dates all the way back to 2017. That grant got held up during COVID. A lot of the Measure J projects went on hold. So it wasn't until 2021 that the design contract was awarded to our consultant. So then the design went through the process, and then it was released out to bid for construction in April 2023. In June 2023, City Council directed us to reject all bids because they came out quite a bit higher than the available money that we had. We went back and changed some of the scope to get a project that could fit within the grant funding that we had. That was released in December 2023. And then in April 2024, that was the contract for construction was awarded to Redgwick Construction, and they are now out there working on the project. So the road condition out there has continued to deteriorate over all that time that whole process was going on. And so it really is at the point now, there's a lot of striping work that's going to go in. There's a lot of curb work that's going on out there. And all of that, to put that onto pavement that looks like this, these are the photos of the condition that a lot of the road is in, we would then have to redo all that once we put back in new paving down the road. And this is really turned in from kind of a maintaining existing pavement condition to we need to do this or it's going to quickly deteriorate from this point. And we're in the middle of surveying all the roads in the city for their current pavement condition. And we actually asked that company to go take a look at this road first so that, because we knew this was a good opportunity to make sure that this repaving occurred with this project. So this is the project limits. The resurfacing would basically be across the entire project limits, which is that long list of streets and limits that Mayor Nowak read off in the resolution. Most of this is in the city of Pleasant Hill. The portion in green here is in the city of Concord. The city of Concord has already worked with us to pay their portion of the traffic signal work at the intersection of Taylor Boulevard and Contra Costa Boulevard. They would also provide us reimbursement for the resurfacing within the city limits of Concord. So again, what this is asking, so we have our 2024-2029 CIP capital improvement plan. We have both of these projects in there. One is our street resurfacing program, and then we have the Contra Costa Boulevard project. And so what we're asking is to move $1.2 million from our street resurfacing program over to the Contra Costa Boulevard project so that those can be combined and have the current contractor that we have out there do that work. So it's both to reallocate those funds over to the project and then also authorize the Public Works Director to have that change order be made with the contractor that's out there. So that is the end of my presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. So there's obviously been a lot of comments on social media about this intersection at Taylor and Contra Costa. And I was wondering if you could just give a little bit background why we decided to rework this intersection. Did we do a traffic study? I think we probably did, but that has been a question. And you know, how it relates to our general plan / our bike and pedestrian safety plan.
Sure. So let me try and break that up into pieces. I do want to mention that there's both the construction traffic that happens because this is a very busy intersection, and there's construction, and that is going to cause delays that are out there now, and that's what a lot of the delay is experienced now. And then there's going to be the finished product, which went through traffic study, and which basically the decisions that were made were based on both accommodating the vehicle traffic through that intersection, but also keeping in mind our bike ped master plan, our general plan, it's going to be our climate action plan, that all want to give people the choice, the option of riding their bikes or walking if they so choose. And so a lot of the improvements here are to make that experience for people walking and biking safer, but also in turn that often makes things safer for motor vehicles because it's slowing vehicles down. And so that kind of goes to the bigger condition on Contra Costa Boulevard, which is the corridor that has the most crashes of any corridor in the city. Most of those crashes, and actually I should say Taylor Boulevard is also the third most number of crashes in the city. So we're at the intersection of those two. Most of those, or the most frequent primary collision factor, which is basically looking at what causes the crashes, is unsafe speeds. So when we do a project at the intersection of these two roads, we looked for opportunities to bring those speeds down. And so that's where a lot of the improvements at this intersection go to. A couple of the specific comments that we've received are why those slip lanes that used to allow you to make a right turn southbound from Contra Costa Boulevard onto Taylor and eastbound from Taylor onto Contra Costa Boulevard, why those were removed. Those could be traveled at very high speeds. A nationally recognized countermeasure to those, to crashes and to make intersections safer, is to remove those slip lanes. We looked at the whole intersection, those two locations, the traffic volumes could justify removing those. The other two, on the east side of the intersection, the traffic volumes are much higher, and so we did not think that in that location it was a good idea to remove those. So instead what we're doing is making those tighter so that vehicles can't make turns as fast as they could before. So that's kind of the overall idea behind the project, and yes, traffic was considered in all of that.
Thank you. I appreciate the fact that we're moving to a more bike and pedestrian friendly city, and we love repaving of streets. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that explanation. One of the questions I had is, so we're talking about allocating $1.2 million for resurfacing of additional roadway that wasn't originally part of the original scope of the project, correct?
Correct.
And that's coming out of those funds from the 25 to 29 plan that you had up there, correct?
Out of specifically the 24 to 20, fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 25 funds that were set aside for repaving.
For repaving.
Yep.
And is there any other road or street in the city that's going to be impacted by this?
Through that road survey that I mentioned that's going on right now, that's where kind of the next priorities get identified, and that's outside of the residential programming, residential repaving that we already do. So residential, our paving plan for that is not going to change, and this is going to be one of the streets that would have come out of the survey anyway to say needs to be repaving.
So what you're saying is that there's no other street that's going to be in, like, we're not going to not do something that would have been done originally. This is just would have been part of the impact regardless.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Councilmember Law?
Thank you for sharing that. I remember hearing part of this at the Budget Committee. I had a question. Would you please share if there was a contingency on the contract for potential unforeseen costs or complications and things like that? And if there was a contingency, how much was the amount that was on the contract?
So there was a contingency. I believe it was 12%, which was around 800,000. I believe it's in that neighborhood. And as you say, that contingency is really set aside for unforeseen circumstances and that sort of thing. There are a few things that we are using that contingency for already. We did some extra curb ramp work at an intersection. We're adding in some median curb that is now in poor condition that needs to be replaced. There might be some bioretention, stormwater treatment that we need to do. So there's already things we're using that contingency for, and then anything, we really want to make sure that we still have some contingency too throughout the end of the project in case other unforeseen things occur. But at the end of the project, we're going to look at all the money that we have left, including if we don't need to use all this street resurfacing money, and then that will go back to the accounts that it came from.
Okay, thank you for that. And then I have a follow-up question. So it sounds like the 1.2 is a separate amount that we're seeking for a change order, just specifically for the deterioration of the asphalt and making the change order. I didn't see line items in the agenda for those time and materials. Would you be able to share some of that information at this point in time of what the change order is for?
Yeah, the change order is very specifically for grinding down the asphalt and then putting back new asphalt. And the other things associated with that are adjusting the manhole covers up and down to do that repaving as is standard practice. It's also doing some work where the base underneath the asphalt has deteriorated and we need to go deeper than the 2 inches that we grind down. So it's all those associated things. Because this is going time and materials, it's very specific that we review the cost of materials that the contractor does, and we review the amount of people that they have out there throughout the whole process. And so at the end, we get totals for that. So this is based on on an estimate that we feel very comfortable with that will stay underneath.
Okay, thank you for that. So it sounds like it's beneficial for us to do the change order with the existing contractor versus having to do the work later on. And since we have a contract already in place, adding this change order will help actually streamline the process and encourage that we complete the project.
Correct. Very well said. And I would also add that there's about $300,000 in striping as part of this project. And that's a lot of the bike and pedestrian improvements are striping on the road. And so normally we would do a resurfacing project and then that would include a bunch of striping that comes back in after. And so it actually helps both sides of things, both the resurfacing project and this project, to kind of combine those so we're not duplicating that type of work.
Thank you.
Other questions? No? No? Okay. Then I will, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. And thanks for all the detail. A lot of people having questions. Is there any public comment on this item?
There are no public comment cards.
Okay. With that, I will look for a motion.
Here we go. I'll go. Okay. I will make a motion to approve the appropriation of street resurfacing program funds to fund the resurfacing of Contra Costa Boulevard, portions, Taylor Boulevard and Sun Valley Boulevard as part of the Contra Costa Boulevard Improvement Project, and authorize Public Works Director to execute a construction change order with Ridgewick Construction Company.
I will second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Law?
Yes.
Obalinsky?
Yes.
Chess?
Yes.
Sockotch?
Yes.
Noack?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I did forget that we did receive one written correspondence on that item from Kevin Kennedy, so I forgot to mention that. I wanted to mention that before we adjourned. With that, we'll go to item 11, which is adjournment. And with no further business, we will adjourn to the next regular city council meeting scheduled for Monday, February 24th. Thank you all and good night.